All right, guys. Hello, welcome. Good afternoon. Welcome to the stream. Hope we're doing well today. We are back, yes, indeed. Welcome to the chat, Danny, Lack, Scoobs. I see you there. Thank you very much for the like, dude. I hope you're doing well. All right, guys. Let's. Well, we'll be ready in just a second. Sophie, hello, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much. Sending my love out to Canada as well. Okay, so we are good to go. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're doing well. First impressions on the UK update. I really don't have any impressions just yet. I've really only just this is probably the first time I've sat down in front of the simulator since it came out. So we shall see. What keyboard is this? It is it's a 65% keyboard, I think, is what what they call it in the keyboard world. It's a Vortex. I actually forget the name. Hang on, let me see if it says it on it. I actually can't remember. The manufacturer is called Vortex, and you just search for Vortex 65%. Let me see if I can find it for you here. Vortex, it's a 75% actually, my bad. But it's very compact. Like, I used to have a 65% Ducky keyboard, and it's actually the same size as that. So it's actually a bit smaller in the width, slightly bigger in the height. It's called a Vortex Race 3, I believe it is. That's it. But it's very nice. I would highly recommend it. It's got the the DSi profile keycaps, which are all sort of uniform, and I really like that. I think I prefer it over the standard OEM keycap profile. Chris, good afternoon. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you again. I hope you're doing well. Echo. Not sure about the fish and chips this early. I mean, it's approaching lunchtime here in the UK, so... Keyboard is an IBM model M2122. Okay. I've not heard of that one. Felix, good afternoon. Welcome to the chat. I hope you're doing well. The update it's a large update to the UK, essentially, a UK scenery update. They've added a bunch of different POIs around the country. They've added a few handcrafted airports. They've updated a bunch more airports, and they've also they've added new terrain data for the UK as well, and a few more photogrammetry cities. Yes, Sophie, it's using Cherry MX Reds is this one. I actually used to have browns on my last keyboard, but yeah, I think I much prefer reds on this one. Oh, it's a vintage keyboard. Nice. I thought it might be. That's really cool. Yeah, I gotta love the vintage keyboards. All right, yeah, we'll get underway in just a second here. I just need to close one or two of my blinds. It is incredibly bright in here. Or I could just do that. That works. All right, cool. Are they clicky switches? No, they're not clicky switches. No. I think I don't know if you can get MX Reds with the clicky feel to them. But they're decent. I mean, Reds are a pretty safe switch, I believe, from what I've read. I mean, Browns are quite nice, but I think personally they're just a little bit too crunchy feeling for me. All right, let me just turn the music down as well while we're at it. Okay, cool. So here we are. We're at Land's End Airport. Now, this is a bit of a gamble, this one, because I'm not sure if the runways are going to be long enough for this aircraft to take off. Maybe we'll try a flaps 35 takeoff and see how it goes. But this is Land's End, so this is one of the handcrafted airports that they added to the sim. And yeah, I mean, looking pretty nice. First impressions, some good ground markings going on. I mean, obviously it's quite a small airport, so there's not too much to it. But why don't we just have a quick look around? Keyboard is 25 years old. Holy crap. That's amazing. That's amazing. I mean, those old keyboards were built like absolute tanks, weren't they? All right, let's just have a quick browse. Because why not? We've got a handcrafted airport here. Oh, my lord. Look at this interior. This is legit. Little check-in desks right here. Even says Land's End on the mats here. That's incredible. This has got to be one of the best interiors I've ever seen in an airport. Look at that. That is awesome. Even got like signage tucked away here. Car park signs. Wow, they've gone in on the detail on this one. Holy balls. Beautiful. Plenty of signage. What else we got? Trinity houses. Like porter cabin type jobbies. Car park. Not overly interested in that. And then we've got a couple of hangars over here. It's a very, very small airport, obviously. But the detail is just incredible. I love it. Let's go up in the sky a bit and see what it looks like. Pretty good. Oh, wow. Oh, no. I thought they'd added like 3D hay bales to the field here, but they're just on the satellite imagery. It looked kind of 3D from above almost. Nice. All right. Well, let's get underway here and see what's cracking. Let's see what is cracking. All right. So I've not really flown, like I say, in this update. Let me just make sure I've got the right controls selected here. So I want my CJ4 profiles. That's looking good. So I've not really flown on this update. I know they have actually changed a few things with regards to how flaps work. But I'm not sure if it affects the CJ4. I've not seen anyone write about it, but let's see how it goes anyway. So batteries can come on. Avionics to dispatch, and let's just jump on down here and real quick set the position. So we are at I forget the ICAO for this airport. Let me just get that real quick. So it's Echo Golf Hotel Charlie. Oh, okay, it doesn't actually work in this one. So we'll just copy the GPS position, and that will do it. So let's go index, and in fact, let's just start up the engines here. So start up the right engine. We'll get it started up so that we do have power. Obviously, quite a small airport, so no external power is probably going to be here. So let's just get the engine started up. That's what you would normally do. And I need to unmute the game as well, don't I? There we go. You guys can probably hear it now. So where are we off today? We are going from Land's End to London City as a first leg, and then the next leg is going to be to Manchester Barton Airport. So we shall see how long that takes us. Maybe we might do another leg. We shall see. Damiana, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for sharing. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it is a shame they don't do keyboards like that anymore, but yeah, I suppose it's an acquired taste at this point in time. But, I mean, I suppose if you wanted to, that you could build one. There's a lot of people I know, well, not that I know, but that I see on Reddit who are pretty good at putting together sort of retro-looking keyboards and whatnot. Probably should have turned the beacon light on already. Nav lights, logo lights. We'll get a bit of lighting on there. Okie dokie. So we've got our engine started up. Let's get the avionics fully on here. And we can bring our flight plan in. I am from the north of the UK, near Leeds. Alright, so our flight plan, Echo Golf Hotel Charlie to Echo Golf Lima Charlie, which is London City. Let's execute. Alright. Perfect. Let's just do this real quick. Weight for today is going to be... We need 1.07 tons of fuel. That should do it. And then payload is going to be 540 kilos. Oh, I'm sure they've changed that. I'm sure they've changed the way these sliders work. Interesting. I mean, that's quite nice either way. Let's make sure live weather and live time is on. We've got 7 passengers. So our zero fuel weight should be 5203. And our gross weight should be 6223, which is slightly incorrect, but we're going to use the in-game sensed figures because, yeah, these sliders don't match exact to the flight plan, but that's fine. It's not far off at all. Let's set our takeoff performance. Ian, good afternoon. Good to see you in the chats. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much, Sophie, sending my love over to Canada. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. I don't know if you actually tuned in, actually. We did a flight a little while back. I know, I think it was yourself that requested it, Sophie. We did a... where is it? Toronto to... Well, we flew from Montreal to Toronto in the 787. The landing was a bit of a crazy time, but yeah, we did that a little while back. That was quite a good one, actually. There was a lot of snow, and it was pretty stunning. Marcos, good afternoon. Welcome to the chat. Hola to you. Hope you're doing well. Karsten, welcome. Good to see you again. Yes, this is the CJ4. And yeah, working title mod is absolutely amazing. Yeah, this FMS is just so spot on to the real thing. It's so good. Holy cow! Just Google the price for CJ4, 9.1 million. Yeah, pretty pricey things. Yeah. pretty expensive. Yeah. Alright, so let's get the ATIS here at Land's End. Oh, in fact, there is no ATIS. So let's see if we can get a METAR. EG. Let's see if we can get a METAR. Let's go METAR. There we go. So that's our weather. Recorded on the 18th at 20 past 12. Winds 260 at 18 knots, so actually quite windy here at Land's End. Visibility over 10 kilometers. Few clouds at 1,500 feet. And few clouds at 1,600 feet. And that temperature is 9 degrees. And the QNH is 1003. Okay, great stuff. Moggy, good afternoon. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Another awesome streamer in the chat, streaming Flight Sim on Facebook. Smoggy, go over and drop him a follow. Got to share the love here on Facebook. All right, cool. So we've got our takeoff references, takeoff weather in. Let's go next page. We're not, yeah. Let's have the anti-ice on. It is under 10 degrees outside, and then takeoff flaps is going to be 15. And let's send the V speeds over to the PFD here. Thank you very much for the follow on Twitch, Veloxikes. Apologies if I've not said that correctly, but thank you very much for the follow there. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the chat. How are you doing today? Billy, thank you very much, dude. Thank you so much. I am, yeah, doing quite a bit better today. Still got a bit of a strange kind of tight feeling in the back of my neck. I've had this sort of really weird, sort of persistent headache over the last few days. And yeah, I've still got a bit of a weird feeling in my neck, but like I say, yeah, feeling quite a bit better today. All right, so that's our takeoff data set, and I think we're pretty much good with the FMS now. And let's just make sure, well, we don't really need to do anything here, do we? Let's also just flick back to the index. I like to just make sure I've not missed anything here. No, okay, we're good. So let's just check our flight routing. So we'll go on to our plan view here and just check this all looks decent. Whoa. Holy crap. There's all those loads of follows going through on Twitch. Yeah, thank you very much for all the follows, guys. Annie, Joan, Eleanor, Ferdy, and Evan. Thank you very much for all the follows on Twitch. Thank you, thank you. I hope you're doing well. That was strange how they all came in at once then. Yeah, that's anyway. Thank you very much, guys. Hope you're doing well, and yeah, how are you all doing? Right, so let's just check here. Yeah, I mean, our flight plan looks good. This is a relatively short flight, so let's stick in our arrival as well into London City. So our arrival is going to be into the Sam 1 Charlie arrival, and we're hoping for runway 27, which is quite nice actually. Runway 27 should be pretty cool. It'll take us over sort of the east side of London, heading in towards the west, so you should get quite a good view coming in of the city, which is quite nice. And you fly right over Canary Wharf as well. It's pretty cool. And the transition that we're going to use, I'm not actually sure. Let me just have a quick look on the old charts here. Will we see the London Eye? Potentially. I can't say for sure yet, but potentially. You might be able to see it in front of us as we come down, but we won't be flying over it, unfortunately. This will be landing runway 27. So this is our routing, and I did just want to check the transition we're going to use. So this is our arrival on SAM-1 Charlie. We'll be coming in from SAM VOR, which is Southampton. Bidver flight level 130 is a required altitude there. Sokux and then Ok VAP at 250 knots. Required altitude at Godlu is flight level 100, and then there's a holding there. So you wouldn't normally proceed beyond that point without ATC clearance, so hence why the hold is there. However, whilst we are on VATSIM, I don't think there are any controllers on at London City or London Centre at the moment, although that could change, so probably won't have to do that. Regardless, it's unlikely we'll have to hold there. It's probably not going to be that busy at this time anyway. So let's just check our arrivals here and check out our transitions. So we're going to be on the SAM-1 Charlie, and these are our transitions. So this is our chart here that we're looking at. We need to find the SAM-1 Charlie transitions. So, well, it would be well, one of these transitions really, wouldn't it? So it'd be this one for runway 27, Godlu, and then down this routing here. So we want the Lavno 1 Golf arrival. So you can see here it says Lavno 1 Golf. We're going to be coming in from Godlu, so that's the transition that we need there. So we'll take that, and then whilst I'm here, I'm just going to pin the airport 10-9 there, and we might need that when we get on the ground. Other than that, we don't need any charts really for this end because it's a direct out and there's literally no traffic, no controllers here, so we'll just take off our own leisure, and that should do it. Alright, so that reminds me, we do need to set our radio to 122.8, so we'll stick that in COM 1, and we are just about ready. So let's put the air conditioning to normal as well. We'll set our map to what we wanted onto PPOS. Let's just zoom that in a little bit, maybe. Let's see what range we're on. 10. Let's zoom that out. Alright, I think just about there. Let's set the altitude. Our cruising flight level today is going to be 450. There we go. Nice and high. Target cruise speed is going to be max 0.74, and our transition altitude is actually going to be 6,000, I believe. Oh, it's going to be 3,000 apparently. So we'll set that, and then our transition flight level coming in. Usually it's denoted by ATC, but we'll put 6,000 in because that's about right for the UK. Oh, you can't change that yet anyway. I always forget you can't change that. VNAV descent is a 3-degree path. Now, I'm interested to see if you can actually change this. Oh, you can. That's beautiful. Alright, we'll do a 2.3, so it's a slightly shallower descent, and we'll kind of fly over a bit more of the ground for a bit longer. So, yeah, that'd be cool. Alright, beautiful. My sim's frozen. With it being in the city centre, what is the approach angle? So the London City Airport is pretty famous airport in the UK for being one of the most challenging because of the descent angle dropping into the airport. So we'll jump on over to the flight bag one more time, just real quick, and like I say, the descent angle, I think it's quite a steep one for London City because, like I say, well, like you say, it's in the city centre, lots of high buildings, etc. So we're going to be going for London ILS 27, and that is the wrong one. We want We want this one. So yeah, this is the ILS approach which we will fly, and the descent angle is 5.5 degrees. So very steep, really. It's almost double what you would normally find. Obviously the normal is 3 degrees for most airports. So 5.5 degrees into London City. Quite a steep one, and it should be a lot of fun. Let's stick that in there. Where are we flying from? We are flying from Land's End. Make sure we've got these on full brightness. It's quite sunny here in Land's End at the moment, so we want quite a bit of brightness on those screens. Alright, cool. So I think we're about ready just to run the checklists. And I think what I'm going to do is, so if you've seen me fly this aircraft before, what I usually do is I usually hit basically the toga button before we take off. Now, I discovered actually recently that all this does is it actually sets your flight director to 10 degrees, which is fine. That's, you know, helpful, but that's all it actually does. It doesn't actually change any of the throttle configuration or anything. So I'm not going to use toga today because what I would prefer to do is I would prefer to actually set the autopilot as I want it to be once I activate it. So for the climb we want flight level change at 240 knots. We also want nav mode, and that's it. So yeah, I'm gonna just set it to that because, like I say, that is how I want it set. And I did discover that it is realistic to do this. You know, a lot of pilots have their own ways of doing the takeoff apparently. So, and having said that, it does actually set the flight directors to 10 degrees doing that. So that's an interesting one. Alright, so we don't really need the weather radar on or the terrain radar. It's pretty flat around here, and the weather is pretty clear, so we're going to leave those off. We'll bring up our legs page, and we shall just run our checklist and then get underway. So while we're doing that, we'll start the passenger briefing. We've already answered that. James, good afternoon, welcome to the chat, I hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. Michael, thank you very much for the follow, I hope you're doing well. Alright, so let's run our checklists. So, normal checklists. Before starting engines, we've already done all this. The battery switch, emergency light, standby flight display, avionics, parking brake, wheel chocks, passenger briefing, seats, exterior lights, ICAS, FMS, climate control selector was off. We started the engines more or less straight away so they can be checked. We've done all that. Before taxi, avionics is on, climate control is normal, passenger light safety button can also come on. Flight controls are free, speed brakes we can check those. We'll just give them a quick extension there. There we go, lovely stuff. Flaps are set to 15 degrees. Hydraulic pressure is okay. Engine only anti-ice we shall put on. Takeoff data is set. Avionics are set. Autopilot is set. Altimeter, that is something we did completely forget about. So let me just change the let's just change the units on that real quick. There it is. Okay, cool. And we need to set that to, what was it, 1003? Okay, beautiful. So that is set. Good thing that's on the checklist, really. That's a pretty essential item. Okay, so let's carry on with the before taxi. Altimeter is set. Pressurization is okay. EICAS is checked. Doors are closed. Okay, cool. So let's start our taxi. Let's set the taxi lights on and we can get underway. Your belt doesn't fasten. Oh no, you'll have to hang on. You have to hang on. Just get your bag and just wedge yourself in under the table. Alistair, good afternoon. Do I use the Thrustmaster TCA? Yes, I do, yeah. In fact, we're going to be bringing up the hand cam right about now, so let's do that. And we might as well just turn down the music. Okie dokie, so exterior lights are set, brakes. Nose wheel steering is good. Okay, so before takeoff checklist we shall do whilst we're taxiing. Which runway do we want here? We want runway 25. Let's just see if I can spot which one that is. So there's I think there's 3 runways here. Or is there just 2? Might be just 2. I think this is 25. Let's see which way we're facing. 064. Yeah, so that could be 25. Alright, great stuff. Cool. So let's start our taxi then. And if I release the parking brake, that would be helpful. The turning circle on this thing is absolutely magic, so you don't really need any kind of pushback. And let's do one. Say bye bye to Land's End, people. Thank you very much, Damiana. I'm glad you enjoy. And look at this, we've got the new taxiway signs here. They've made the taxiway signs absolutely enormous now so you can read them. But they are pretty damn ridiculously big now, so I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it. But they're definitely more legible, which is amazing for VATSIM. Do I use rudder pedals? No, I do not, no. It's very rare you need rudder pedals, to be honest, doing IFR, which is the majority of what I do. Well, flying these jets anyway. Alistair, sorry, I just answered you. Lee, yes, we are on VATSIM, but it's quite quiet at the moment. So, yeah, it's not too many people on, but as we approach London, that may change. Alright, so let's just check left, make sure no one's landing here. Alright, so here we are, runway 25. Let's turn around at the end, make sure we use as much runway as possible. Quite a short runway this, so I don't want to unnecessarily use it if I don't have to. Alright, so that will do. Let's set the parking brake. Alright, and let me just turn up the volume real quick. Alright, cool. Okay. Rob, good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okie doke. So, landing lights and strobe lights can now come on. transponder can come on. Wing anti-ice and pitot heat can come on as well. So let's just do our quick before start checklist. So ice protection is set, rudder bias is not checked, but we can't really do that in the sim. Seats are set, flaps are set, speed brake 0%, trims, oh that's a good one. Definitely need to set the trim. Oh, my controls have changed. Hang on, let me just do that. For some reason, it just loves to change my controls at random. Alright, cool. So let's make sure we set the trim. Somewhere in the middle will do. Crew briefing is complete. TCAS is on. Radar is not on. Not required. Go around button, we're not using that. And everything else is checked. So takeoff checklist we shall run once we get up in the air. That is the before start takeoff checklist. Land's End traffic, Golf Bravo Oscar Bravo Yankee, citation CJ4 and in white, taking off runway 25. Okay, great stuff. Let's go. So, spooling the engines up with the parking brake on, just to make sure they stabilise. Releasing the parking brake, and full takeoff thrust is set. Off we go. So V1 and rotate. Up to about 10 degrees of trim, 10 degrees of nose up should I say, and we are going to, I mean we can turn left or right here at our own leisure. Let's bring the throttles back to climb thrust and take a nice little left turn here over this little bay. How very nice. Beautiful. Love to see it. Keeping that nose at about 10 degrees. Can get the gear up now. That'd be useful, wouldn't it? So we are on climb thrust. I am ignoring the flight directors now because we are not on any kind of path, so we don't really need to pay attention to them just yet. Alright, there we go. There's the airport down below us. And now we're going to straighten out and fly towards our path. Making sure, keep the trim in. Keeping that nose at 10 degrees. Approaching the flaps 15 mark, so we'll bring up the flaps now. And now I'm going to start following the flight directors. Alright, and we're about to hit 240 knots, so I'm going to put the autopilot in. Beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. This is the airport just down there. And this is Land's End right here, the very bottom of England. I think the Land's End monument type job is probably somewhere down there, I think. I went there many, many years ago when I was young. Many, many years ago. Saw that in my VATSIM training course, that even without ATC, still issue commands. Yes, I do try to remember. But yeah, I sometimes forget, I'm not going to lie, but I did announce my takeoff there. And yeah, I mean, to be honest, what I try and do is, if I can see people around me and I know there's going to be people in my area, then I will make sure that I'm pretty good at remembering if I've got traffic around me. But if it's pretty quiet like it was there, then I might be a little bit more relaxed with it. But yeah, I definitely do try and say things on Unicom. St. Just traffic, citation CJ4, climbing through flight level 120 for flight level 450. And there we go, thanks for the reminder. I sometimes have the feeling VNav isn't working proper. How about your experience? Not really experienced any issues with it, Karsten, to be honest. Is there anything in particular that you thought was wrong with it? I haven't really experienced any issues. In fact, I think it works incredibly well. Did I check I had enough gas? Yes, of course, yeah. Have you ever used VR? Read amazing reviews on FS Elites. No, I haven't used VR. No, I don't have a VR headset, unfortunately, so I couldn't do it if I wanted to. Absolutely stunning day in the south of England today. Beautiful. So our flight today is going to take us across this peninsula and then basically along the south coast past Portsmouth and across sort of the southeast. We'll cut across there and then make a left turn in from the east coast in towards London. Yo, Dave, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well. Just bear me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to close this window behind me. When is there going to be a Concorde? That is a good question. We don't know yet, but there's been one announced, so it's coming, but we don't know exactly when, unfortunately. The update. I mean, it seems okay so far. Yeah, this is the first time I've really booted up the sim since the update happened. So yeah, I can't really comment too much. But yeah, I mean, it seems okay so far. I know a lot of people have been complaining on the forums that there's been a lot of issues with the flight dynamics because of the change they made to the flaps. Oh, bit of turbulence there. But yeah, I mean, it seems okay so far. Ian, welcome. Good to see you again. Thank you very much. Maybe I do something wrong, but I think VNav doesn't work at all. Okay. First question, Karsten, is the top of descent appearing for you on the MFD? Does the so if I zoom out here, sorry, that's zooming in.
Tickets to London, quite cheap, I must say, on Fuzzy Airlines. Tears of joy.
Thank you very much, brother. That's very, very generous of you. Thank you so much for the £10. Absolute legend. Thank you so much, dude. Much appreciated, man. I appreciate all your support. It's so very generous. Thank you very much. Tickets to London. Quite cheap. Yeah, I mean, you get a discount. I'll give you a discount. Happy to give you a discount. Well, thank you very much, dude. That's very generous of you. Alright, so let's get back to Carsten's question. So, yeah, basically just wondering if you're getting a top of descent appearing. So if you go to, well, if I show you by going like this. Sorry, let's bring up plan mode. And we'll just zoom in here. So are you getting the top of descent appearing like this green dot? Right here. I've not had any issues with the VNav, but yeah, if you're getting top of descent, that's the first question to ask, I think. Thrustmaster throttle. Okay, so that's a fairly easy fix, thankfully. So, quick one. Just go open up your start menu, type in JOY for joystick, open this. Open this one right here. Now, basically, check your version here. Make sure you're on the latest version, so the version firmware 1.61 and control panel 2.06. If you're not on that version of firmware, what you need to do then is go to if you go. Can't remember what it's called actually. So there's an updater for the firmware that will have installed on your computer when you installed the drivers. So if you just Google that Thrustmaster firmware update, and you should get instructions there for it. Then if you follow those and update the firmware, make sure that's fully up to date. TPM firmware? No, it doesn't like it. Let's see. So yeah, if you update the firmware, and then assuming your firmware's up to date, then what you need to do is you need to do a calibration of the quadrant. So if you go onto the Thrustmaster website, I go on this quite a lot for some reason, so I can get to it easily for you and just show you. I'll give you a link even. Go into the Thrustmaster website and use the calibration. I'm going to stick this in the chats. I'm going to stick this in the chat in response to your comments, if I can find it. There we go. And then do the calibration there, and that should sort out the difference between the two. Once you've got that done, yeah, like I say, that should sort it out for you if you've got a difference between the two quadrants. Now, with regards to the VNav, if you're not getting a top of descent, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you've got an approach set. So if you go into your departures and arrivals, press on arrival and make sure you've got an approach set here on the right hand side, and then you will get a top of descent. And then once you've got a top of descent, if you just make sure you need to wind back your altitude pre-selector to your desired altitude before reaching the top of descent, and then it should start descending for you. You can tell it's working because if you turn on VNav, I can't show you now because we're in the climb, but if you turn on VNav when you're in the descent, in fact I'll show you when we're descending, it's not going to be that long until we descend, you will be able to see the vertical deviation indicator and the vertical speed advisory as well. Alright, I hope that helps anyway, Carsten. Let me know how you get on. Hansi, I just bought the London pack because I wanted the O2 purple and some Bridges reds. Yeah, so with the London pack, Orbex should really put an advisory on at the moment, but I don't think it's actually fully compatible with this new update. I've actually got the London pack and I've disabled it for that reason, so you might not experience the full exact behaviour that you're supposed to have from the pack at the moment. So something to bear in mind. I'm sure Orbex will fix it very soon, but like I say, it's just something that's not fully updated yet, so yeah, hope that helps. Good morning, Ramsey. I hope you're doing well. I've not really been feeling sick, I would say, but I've basically had this persistent headache for the last few days, and it's obviously just not good to sit in front of a computer when you've got a headache. So that's also why I'm wearing these glasses now. Hopefully, it'll reduce some of my eye strain. Would be boring without problems, yeah, of course. Hansi says in the update, didn't do any of these bridges. So if you want a full list of the bridges and stuff that they added, if you check out the flightsimulator.com website and check out the article, there is a full list of everything they added on there. There's a ton of bridges added, but I can't really say what's what. Yo, Ramsey, thank you very much for the 100 stars, dude. Very kind. Thank you so much. VR review for you to read. Thank you very much, dude. I will check it out. I think you might fly right over your house shortly, Ian. Whereabouts are you located, Ian? We've got the sea on we've got the English Channel on our right, and south of England on the left. You can actually see another aircraft on VATSIM just down there in the distance. It's very difficult to see, but it's just there. Thank you very much, Lack. I'm glad you enjoyed the content, dude. I'm glad you enjoy it. I really can't wait, actually, for the CRJ to come out, which should be coming out pretty soon. I can't wait because I'm going to do a lot of flying in that. I feel like it's such a cool aircraft. New VFR maps, but it doesn't work. Do you have problems? I'm not sure what exactly you mean by the VFR maps. What is it? Are you talking about this VFR map? Or something different? Daniel, good afternoon. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you again. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm feeling quite a lot better today. Yeah, I don't think I'm 100%, but yeah, definitely a bit better. Tell you what, guys, have I missed my top of descent here? Have I flown past it? Yeah, I have. I completely didn't realise I was talking to your chat. Yeah, I've flown past my top of descent. Let's wind this down. We didn't even get to our top of the climb. Let's turn VNav on. And we'll start descending. That's wild. I don't think I've ever done that before in the CJ4. It climbs usually so quick. Alright, so let's set this to... We'll set it to 10,000 now because I know my FMS isn't properly set up yet. We'll put flight level change on and we'll wind this into 210 knots for the descent initially. We want to try and go a little bit quicker down because we want to try and capture the VNav path if at all possible. maybe go quiet 210 knots. Let's go Mach 0.64 for a little while. And yeah, so basically what this little magenta donut, it's called, is indicating is that's the vertical speed we want to go at to recapture the VNAV path. As you can see, I've got Alt V and path armed, so once I get within, I think it's a certain mileage of the path, then it will capture and then start taking us down on that. Yeah, I missed my top of descent. I was too busy talking to you guys. Ian, mid-Devon, mate. We've gone too far south. Ah, damn, shame. Yeah, I know, Hansi, yeah, they probably should have made that a bit. I mean, it's in the patch notes of the patch that just came out. It does say that in there, but yeah, it definitely should be more clear on Orbex's website. Today's fun fact, believe it or not, soaking your feet in hot water will help your head feel better by drawing blood to your feet. The hot water foot bath will ease pressure on the blood vessels in your head. For a really bad headache, add a bit of hot mustard powder to the water. Wow. No way. I did not know that. I'll potentially try that out next time. Oh, we've got a pretty heavy tailwind. That's probably why we didn't climb so quickly there. Are your new VFR maps working? I'm not sure what you mean by the VFR maps, Hansi. I haven't downloaded any VFR maps or anything from flightsim.to, so I don't know. Alright, so we are descending down. Let me just check our arrival. So at Bidver, we want to be at flight level 130. Let's just clear out this discontinuity like so. I've got another one. The Bidver is already in at 130, so that's good. And then Godlu is at 10, so that's perfect as well. So we don't need to mess around with that. And then let's just check our transition. So RAVSA at 6,000, which is in. Gap gear at 6,000. And LCE07 at 4,000, that's correct. Lavno at 3,000. Okay, so that is all set up correctly. And then after Lavno, we'll be transitioning on to the ILS. So we don't need to really do too much further from that. Perfect. What is the Morse code you hear? I think what you'll probably be hearing is you'll probably be hearing this. You'll probably be hearing these error messages coming up on VATSIM. I'm not sure why it makes a noise. It's a little bit annoying, but there we go. Okay, so you just probably noticed the aircraft just did a bit of a dip. So it's just recaptured the VNAV path. So we've got a V path now, and basically what it's doing is you'll see it's actually gone for a slightly higher rate of descent currently because it's recaptured the path, and what it wants to do is descend down a bit quicker and recapture this. So you can see the vertical deviation indicator is actually coming up to meters, which means, you know, we're currently below the path and we are, you know, we're about to sort of intersect it, which is great. And then from then on, the rate of descent should decrease slightly, and we'll have a bit of a smoother descent from now on. Great stuff. All right. Just need to just set this exposure up properly. The lighting's all over the place in here today. sunny day in Leeds. Alright, so recapturing the VNav path, and tell you what we could do is, let's just... What are we going to do? Yeah, let's just stick at 10,000 for now, and that should be fine. Alright, let's make sure we've got the ILS tuned as well while we're here. So the ILS is at 115.15, which is set. That's good. Great stuff. Our arrival is totally RNAV and transition as well, so we don't need to use any VORs or anything, so I'm just going to leave the other nav frequency as it is. Alright, yeah, so like I was saying, the sort of Morse code type noise you hear is probably these errors appearing, so it's just basically telling me that it can't match a model to something. Probably because I've not got some liveries installed or something that don't match, so yeah. To be honest, what I think I might do is, because these errors are quite annoying, I might actually just go in here and just remove this, because that's what's causing it, I think. So we'll just do that. Mate, I just downloaded the fly-by-wire, but it's not gone into the sim. How did you download it? Did you download it from the GitHub, or did you use the installer? I find the VNav doesn't work for me. I'm programming the FFC wrong, I'm sure. Yeah, so assuming you're talking about CJ4, which is the only aircraft really, as long as you've got the working title mod, it's the only aircraft really that can use VNav at the moment. So assuming you're talking about that, now, I mean, there's not too much you need to do that's different from normal for the VNav setup. In fact, all you really need to do is put in a route, and as long as you've got an arrival in, then the VNav should work fine. I mean, you don't even need to have an approach. Like, you can deselect your approach and you can literally just select a runway. You don't even need to have necessarily an approach set. So yeah, as long as you've got something on this column set for your arrival, then it should work okay. Because it needs to know what elevation it goes down to. So if you set an approach, it knows where the vertical path ends. So as long as you've got that in, then it should work perfectly. And obviously make sure you don't miss your top of descent like I did. But as long as you've got these indications coming up right here, as long as you've got the vertical speed advisory and the vertical deviation indicator appearing, then you should be able to tell that it's working. Even if you pass your top of descent, this should still be here. It should show you how to recapture your VNav path. But you kind of have to think of it as a glide slope sort of thing for an ILS. You have to sort of capture it before it'll start working. So as long as you've got VNav pressed before you intercept the top of descent, and also your altitude selector selected to a lower altitude, then you should be good. Can you fly over the Isle of Wight, or possibly land there? We actually did stream where we landed at the Isle of Wight not that long ago, actually. Probably in the last couple of weeks, I think we did it. And it was really nice, actually. Really nice. So yeah, if you wanted to see that, I would recommend maybe checking back through some of the older videos, or on my YouTube. I think the title of the video is something like, I can't actually remember, but it's got CJ4 on the thumbnail. In fact, I'll show you the thumbnail. I just can't remember what the name of the stream was. thumbnail was... can't find it now. There it is. This is the thumbnail. Find that one. That's the one where we did the Isle of Wight. We've got the development build, but how did you download it? Did you use the installer? So did you use this? Did you use this application to install it, or did you go directly to their website and download it from there? Really missing the top of descent. Check it out. Yeah, no worries. Just make sure you've got that approach in, and it should calculate the top of descent for you. Or alternatively, I think if you're in the FMS and on your legs page, as long as you've got some altitude set on these lower legs, it should work as well. But I literally always have an approach set, so I can't really say otherwise. But yeah, hopefully that should help. James, good afternoon. Welcome back to the chat. I hope you're doing well. I am. I'm doing a little bit better today. Thank you for asking. David, also, thank you very much. Yeah, a little bit better, thank you. Frederick, good to see you too. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the chat. What are we flying today? We're flying the Cessna Citation CJ4. Not quite a 321. Do fly and land up here in Barra, you would realistically need a twin otter. Yeah. It is quite limited at the moment. I mean, there are some add-on aircraft that are like ported from other simulators, but they're just not, up to the quality of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and they're a bit janky and a bit toy-like. So, I mean, there is aircraft like that, but it's not a real simulation, if you know what I mean. It's a bit of a, I don't know. I think they're a bit of a mess about, but there are some like other aircraft, but the native aircraft to Microsoft Flight Simulator are not that many at the moment. However, Aerosoft are working on a Twin Otter, so there is a proper high detail Twin Otter coming, but it might be a while yet. But yeah, I did think about that lack. I was trying to think of what aircraft I could use. I mean, obviously we could use a small GA aircraft, but I would prefer to fly something a bit, bit bigger, The lighting on pack is better than updates. I'm not sure what you mean by that one, Hamzy. Which lighting are you talking about? The London City lighting? I'm not actually sure. I've not really flown around London too much at night. Alright, so as you'll notice, we've taken a right turn out, just swinging ourselves out just over the coastline here, and we're going to come along and round and in that way to London City. Can't quite see London yet, but my frame rate has got considerably lower, so we must be relatively close. Twin Otter is in real life scheduled as hell to fly in. I can imagine. I bet you've been on Twin Otter quite a few times, haven't you, like? Sean, thank you very much for the follow as well on Facebook. Hope you are doing well. Welcome. Oh, Karsten as well. I missed your stars earlier on. Thank you very much for sending the 100 stars. Thank you very much. It's very kind. What am I looking for here? Have I noticed you can see every plane flying around on the map? To be honest, no, I haven't. I assume you mean on this map. I never really use this map, so I haven't really noticed. And generally, I don't really play on multiplayer. I'm usually on VATSIM instead, so yeah, I don't really use this one. Okay, so as you will notice, we've leveled off here at 130, which is the altitude restriction for this waypoint. You may remember, as we were looking through our charts, we've got a flight, a required altitude here at flight level 130 at Bidver, which you can see, which is where we are currently. Just passing over that, and we'll continue our descent momentarily. So you know this is a required altitude because it has a line above it and below it. So that means no higher than flight level 130 and no lower than 130. Alright, and you can see our vertical deviation indicator. Oh, in fact, I need to put a bit of throttle back in. We are slowing down. So yeah, as you can see, the vertical deviation indicator is now above us. So we're below the calculated path now, but that's normal because we want to be level at this moment in time. Only way out there is a 5.5 journey to Glasgow on a ferry, 5.5 ferry journey. Holy crap, that is a long ferry journey. Or an hour on the Twin Otter. Ooh. I'm not sure which I prefer, to be honest. I mean, I've never been on a Twin Otter, so I can't really comment as what they're like to fly on, but yeah, I can only imagine. Check London on world map as you start. Every player and name is flying around. Yeah. I mean, they will appear. Players will appear if you have multiplayer turned on. Yeah. But like I say, I never really have that on. All right, let's just check real quick. Coverage on VATSIM. There can't be a London controller on because they would have probably contacted me by now. No, there isn't. There is an approach controller on at Gatwick, but obviously we're not landing at Gatwick. We'll just continue as planned. Funnily enough, there is actually a ground controller on. Oh no, that's not where we're going. Okay, so after we pass through this waypoint here, we should start to see this deviation indicator start coming down again. Or not, I guess, because yeah, so it's calculating a 2.3 descent path angle down to 10,000 feet at Godloo. Godloo is quite far away, so we probably won't see this come down for a while. In fact, there is actually another top of descent right here, so yeah, we won't see it come down until we get close to Ogfap. Oh, getting a bit cloudy here over the east side of England, it's looking a bit gloomy. And look at that, you can just make out the wind farm below us. Pretty cool. Leon, good afternoon. Welcome back to the chat. Yeah, not doing too badly, thank you very much. Yeah, definitely a little bit better today. Well enough to stream at least. Oh, this is getting a bit grim here, isn't it? Damn. Alright. Might as well just relax in the back here for a bit. Come into the murk. Just heard a player there, but they must be quite far away because their transmission was very fuzzy. Alright. So, we're just kind of relaxing here for a bit. There's not too much to do. We're currently completely enveloped by clouds. I think, yeah. Look how you can see the engines from back here. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Alright, you know what we did forget to do though? We forgot to do our takeoff checklist, so we actually did that. That's fine. Yeah. After takeoff checklist was done as well. Cruise checklist is done. Alright, so pressurization on the descent checklist, landing elevation set, that does that automatically, so that's done. Ice protection is still on. Altimeters are still set to standard, and that is cross-checked. Even though these displays are mirrored, you don't really need to cross-check yet. Exterior lights are as required. Alright, we'll do the approach checklist as we get a bit closer. Jonathan, welcome back. Good to see you in the chat again. Thank you very much. Yeah, good to see you again in the chat. I'll try my best, dude. I'll try my best. What's happened to the weather? I don't know. I don't know. It's all gone Pete Tong, mate. It's just, yeah. We're just being swallowed by these clouds. But we should be descending through them relatively shortly. I'll tell you what we can do though is we can just set our minimums. So let's go down to Barrow and set our minimums. We are category B aircraft, so we want to be at 600 feet is our minimums. Oh, oh, that changes in some serious increments right there. There we go. So that's the minimum set right here, and then we should also do our landing data as well. So let's go perf. And then approach, let's go for a meta for city. So that is, meta is recorded on the 18th at 1320 Zulu, automatically recorded, wind 250 at 15 knots, so pretty windy, but we've got a good headwind there for landing. Visibility is over 10 kilometers, and NCD is, I believe, no clouds over London City. I think that's what it is. And then at 9 degrees temperature, QNH is 1001, so fairly low pressure over London at the moment. should really put it in the chat rules really, but we don't really do a lot of religion in the chat. Thank you very much. We like to keep it quite neutral, Robert. But yeah, I mean, thank you very much for dropping by. I'm just going to remove that. Cheeky gin. Oh, I'd love a gin. Yeah, cheers, Ian. If you have to crab onto runway, don't you need pedals? I mean, yeah, it's ideal to have pedals really, but I've got an axis on my joystick that I can use. Oops. So I can use the twist or the Z axis on my joystick, and that effectively is the same thing. It's just a little bit more awkward because you have to kind of flare and twist at the same time, which is a bit awkward, but it's certainly doable. Yeah, like I say, I've still got access to use the rudder, but it's just not through pedals, that's all. I believe you fly over Southend and the estuary is crap weather here. Yeah, that's where we will be flying over. Yeah, so we'll be coming in, if we look on our plan view here, we can actually skip this forwards and just zoom in a little bit. So, yeah, we're going to be coming in basically right over the estuary, I believe. Right, basically following it in and down into London. Swordfish, good afternoon. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. Just looked again, it says it's installed in the installer top left fly-by-wire installer. Okay, so let's see. You're talking about this installer, right? So it should be working okay. And you went for the development build, right? I'm not sure why it's not working then. It should work just fine, honestly. Maybe I would recommend if you go onto your start menu and you just do a search. So if you type in A32NX and you type that in and then go how do you... In fact, don't do that. Open up Windows Explorer, like so, and just type in A32NX like that. And just search your computer for it, and just double check where it's actually installed to. Tell him to add it to the community folder. Well, if he's used the installer, Hansy, it should have automatically installed it to the community folder. But yeah, Dave, I would advise just doing a search on your computer and just double checking where it's installed to. God, it's super bright isn't it here today, isn't it? It's making my camera go up and down. Maybe what I could do is, hang on. Better. Okay, so we are now heading inbound OGVAP, and we should start another descent down momentarily towards Godlu. Alright, cool. So we're on our way down here. Yeah, currently flying level in the Merc, and yeah, we're just kind of chilling for a bit here. Everything is set up for the arrival, so we've got our minimum set, we've got our approach set, we've got our vertical path dialed into the FMS. So we're chilling. We do need to remember at Godlu we need to be going a maximum of 210 knots. So once we start the descent down to 10,000, we shall make sure that we are going 210 knots. So I'm actually going to, rather than just using the just letting the VNAV take us down, I'm going to use flight level change in conjunction with VNAV, and that should help us descend at controlled speed. A long arrival, this London City, rather than just flying straight over London, because obviously there's so many major airports and so much traffic. You have to fly all the way around the edge and then in from the side. It is a good approach though, like I do enjoy doing it because you get to fly right up the coast, but I mean unfortunately in this weather you can't really say too much, but in good weather you can see quite a bit more. It's pretty nice. Alright, so top of descent is coming up. We've already got 10,000 dialed in, so we don't need to worry too much. However, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just set this to 3,000 now. The approach. And we'll set flight level change to 210 knots. See the vertical deviation indicator coming in now. I'm going to just reduce the throttles back to idle. There we go. We've captured the path, the V path, and we are now descending. So we're probably going to initially descend a bit. Yeah, just try to capture the path properly here, so it's slowed our rate of descent down just to capture it there. There we go. We're doing good. Happening Sunday, very early stream scheduled. Yeah, I mean hopefully I can get up in time for that, but yeah, so what I wanted to try and do is I wanted to try and do a like a session flying over New Zealand with the VATSIM controllers on. Obviously New Zealand is way ahead of us in terms of time, so it's very rare you get controllers on in New Zealand. So I thought they're doing an event there. I mean, they do it every Sunday, I believe. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to have a bit of a fly around New Zealand, something a bit different. I think I want to do the approach into Queenstown, which is an absolutely stunning approach and also a little bit challenging. So I wanted to give that a try, and yeah, I just wanted to do a bit of flying around New Zealand with some controllers on. It's just a stunning country. Now, I am going to say that there is a potential that I might not make the stream. But, yeah, I'm going to try. It is very early though for a Sunday. London City traffic, Cessna citation in white, Golf, Bravo, Yankee. Descending out of flight level 112 for flight level 100, inbound Godlu for runway 27. Alright, so we are going to level off at 10,000 feet here for a moment. And we need to make sure that once we level off, our speed does not increase above 210 knots. So once we put the throttle back in, we need to make sure that we're not going over 210 knots, which is a restriction after Godlu. Right, so there we go, pass through Godlu now, and we are going to level off, so I'm going to put the throttles back in. And there we go, so we're more or less leveling off at 10,000. I'm just going to slow us down so that we can get right onto 10,000 here. Still a little bit above. Perhaps a little bit overzealous with the throttles there. Lots of messages coming in here for people landing at Gatwick. And yeah, someone talking about Paris as well. Not sure why we're picking up Paris transmissions from this far away. Alright, so there we go, more or less at 10,000. Let's just put throttles back in and just get a little bit of speed. Our next constraint is at 6,000 at Ravsa, so our next descent will start over here. Okay, Qatar 134. Oh, we've got a private message from Thames Approach. 132-700. Alright, let's get in touch. Oh, just as the good music comes on as well. Oh, there is an ATIS as well. Let me just make sure I get that for Mention Kilo.
Lufthansa 44 Tango direct LA, runway 27 clear to land, surface wind 1.03 to 1.9 knots. Runway 27 clear to land, Lufthansa 44 Tango, thank you.
Lufthansa approach, good afternoon, fly air 46 Papa, descending, flight level 90 inbound junction.
Flight 46 Papa, Thames direct, hello, descent flight level 90, cleared last day 1 Juliet, position runway 27.
Flight level 90, land transition, and respect the ILS located on
Flight 46 Papa, confirm it's last day 1
I'm trying to get in touch with this guy, but people are just talking. Oh dear. Someone blocked someone else there. Thames Director, Cessna Citation, CJ4 Golf, Bravo Oscar, Bravo Yankee, with you at flight level 100 on the Lavno 1 Golf arrival. Information Kilo.
Golf Bravo Yankee Thames Director, hello. Resume navigation, director Ravsa, descent to altitude 6,000 feet. City QNH 1001.
Resume home navigation, direct Ravsir, descend 6,000 feet, QNH 1001, Golf Bravo Yankee.
And Golf Bravo Yankee, when you can, squawk 7045.
Squawk 7045, Golf Bravo Yankee. Alright, so that's 7045. Punch that in, and we need to go direct Ravsir, which is beautiful. I love doing directs in this thing. It just works so well. Boom, boom, boom. That's direct. And we will start descending again. So we'll pull the throttles right back so that we can get descent on. And we're going to descend to 6,000 feet. Now, we've been cleared to 6,000 feet by ATC. And we do have ATC on now. So we're actually going to put our pre-selector to 6,000 rather than 3,000. Before we had no ATC. So it was fine to clear ourselves down to 3,000, but now because we've got ATC on, we need to respect where we've been cleared to. So we are going to set 6,000. He's also cleared us down to. He's also cleared us down to an altitude, which is. So we'll need to activate our barometric altimeter here and set this to 1001.
We're responding to an alpha call to Maidenhead. We'd like to enter controlled airspace westbound on Hotel 4, routing for Hotel 10, leaving controlled airspace at Cookham with a basic service.
Element 27 Alpha, Roger, clear to enter the city control zone, reaching Hotel 4 to
When you delete London Packs, it's still saved in Steam files. Yeah, you should be able to download it again from wherever you... Yeah, you should be able to... If you got it from the marketplace, you should just be able to download it again through the content manager. When you delete London Packs, it's still... yeah, sorry, I read that. Safe landing and safe landing to yeah, thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate that. What's the landing prediction on Twitch? Is it the exclamation point? I'll type it in now.
Golf Bravo Yankee, speed 210 knots.
Speed 210, Golf Bravo Yankee.
And Golf Bravo Yankee, just to let you know, the procedure you're following has published speed restrictions, so you need to follow them.
Wilco, Golf Bravo Yankee.
Flyer 46 Papa, report your indicated airspeed.
250 knots.
Okay, so yeah, we were going a little bit slow there, so he was just... We're only going on a shallow descent angle, so I didn't really need to idle the throttles there. But he wants us to keep the speed up, obviously for traffic reasons, but we don't need... We'll make sure we're not going above 210 knots. So there we go, that should do it.
Lufthansa 44 Tango, Roger, taxi flat 3.
There we go. Okay, so it's just about finding a balance. So the command on Twitch to predict the landing rate is like this. So exclamation point and then predict and then 110 and then put your number in after that.
Flyer 46 Papa, resume and navigation direct to Ravnet, Christian Ravset. Descend to altitude 6,000 feet, city QNH 1001.
Ah, so we actually have an aircraft behind us.
I would descend to 6,000 feet, QNH 1001, direct Ravset navigation.
Tom, thank you very much for all the follows, as well as Umar and Dorothy. Thank you very much for all the follows on Facebook. Appreciate that. Okay, so we're going a touch quick now, so I'm just going to pull back the throttles a little bit. Dishy Fritter, thanks for the guess, man. Why do I need to adjust my baro? Because we've been cleared down to an altitude by the controller. So we might as well change it now. So we're going to pass through what's called the transition level, and that basically means we need to switch back from standard altimeter to sea level altimeter.
Altitude.
And Handyman 27 altitude went to the London control zone, reaching Hotel 4 Barn, Hotel 10 Cookham, Standard operating altitude.
Hotel 4 Barn, Hotel 10, Cookham, standing operating altitude VFR for element 27 Alpha.
Element 27 Alpha, correct. This report box will be.
Alright, so we're going to have a level off here now for a short while. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to update our approach data with the ATIS information. So information kilo, wind is 250.15, which we've already got. Temperature is 9, which we've already got. QNH is 1001, which we've already got. Okay, so that's fine. Leave the legs page open then in that case. In fact, we do need to send our approach speeds over to the PFD, so let's do that. Slow down a little bit. So we should get clearance for further descent now. So I will await.
Element 27 Alpha, Vauxhall Bridge.
Element 27 Alpha, roger, report Barnes.
27 Alpha, welcome.
Jared, good afternoon. Welcome back to the chat. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Okay, so we do need further descent here. Let's see what happens. Oh, we can actually see out the window now. Beautiful. Okay, so VNAV has actually captured the path, but it doesn't seem to be respecting the pre-selector, which is not right.
Golf Bravo Yankee, maintain altitude 6,000 feet until instructed.
Maintaining 6,000 Golf Bravo Yankee. Yeah, I'm not sure why I descended us there. I'm sure the pre-selector is supposed to take precedent over the VNAV, which is bizarre, to be honest. I don't feel like it should have descended us there, but it did. That's a bit weird. Yeah, Dave, if you want to send us some screenshots of the installer and your sim, if you take a picture of the, well, I suppose you don't need to send that, but yeah, just send us a picture of the installer and your community folder as well.
Golf Bravo Yankee, descend by the start to altitude 4,000 feet.
Send by the star to 4,000, Golf Bravo Yankee. Alright, cool, so we've got further descent clearance.
This is the easiest acting I've ever done.
Beautiful.
Flyer 46 Papa confirm
Let's turn
altitude
VNAV on.
4,000 feet, city QNH 1001.
There we go, so we've captured the path. We're going to pull the throttles right out so that we can keep the speed restriction. We'll need to be on 210.
Flyer 46 Papa 10.
Stop by one.
Element 27 Alpha Barnes for Hotel 10.
Element 27 Alpha, roger, report Ivor.
Element 27 Alpha.
Flyer 46 Papa, turn lasting 270 degrees.
270, sorry, I've got a problem with the FMC.
Altitude.
Alright.
Golf Bravo Yankee, speed 180 knots.
Speed 180, Golf Bravo Yankee. Alright, so it wants us to slow down to 180, which is fine. once we level off here, we should lose a decent amount of speed, so that's okay.
Flyer 46 Papa, are you able to resume a navigation direct at TEV?
A-burn, Flyer 46 Papa.
Flyer 46 Papa, Roger, resume a navigation direct at TEV, descend to altitude 4,000 feet by the start.
Was direct after the descent altitude 4,000 feet by the start.
We should have someone right behind us. I don't see anyone, unfortunately, but there should be someone right behind us. I can hear him being sent down the same route as what we are. I'll put a little bit of power back in now. Might as well bring up the hand cam as well, seeing as though there's quite a lot of throttle adjustments being made here. I'm interested to hear about how they actually do the throttle in the real aircraft, because sometimes I spool it up and then spool it back down just to get the right amount of throttle. I imagine in the real aircraft it's probably not done like that. It's probably yeah, I don't know if it's done by that or not. I wonder if they just move the throttles a bit slower than what I do, potentially. Alright, cool. So we're basically flying in a straight line now, all the way until London City. But we've got a bit of this arrival route to fly before we can descend on the ILS. So the next instruction we'll get is to descend to 3,000 feet, and then we should get cleared on the ILS after that. You can see the airport just there. See the Shard in the distance as well. You can actually see Heathrow all the way over there as well.
Golf Bravo Yankee, descend to altitude 3,000 feet, cleared ILS approach runway 27.
Descend 3,000 feet, cleared ILS approach runway 27, Golf Bravo Yankee. Alright, beautiful stuff. Let's descend, flight level change, 180. Bring the throttles back. And we're cleared onto the ILS, so yeah. We might as well switch our nav source manually ourselves. And that's basically going to get us established on the localizer initially. And then once this other green diamond starts coming down, we'll hit approach mode and go to glide slope mode up here. So, are we ready, guys, for this spicy approach? So we need to be fully configured for this descent because it's very steep, like I say. We're going to aim to catch the ILS at 5 miles, so we need to be configured by the waypoint name is actually
Golf Bravo Yankee, there's no ATC speed restriction.
No speed restriction, Golf Bravo Yankee.
Flyer 46 Papa speed,
right, so
180 knots.
We're just going to hold 180 because that's probably fine. All right. Cool. So we'll just continue on like we are for a short while here until this starts getting a little bit closer. In fact, let's go flaps 15 at least. Add a bit more throttle in to compensate for the additional drag. Flaps 15 is deployed. And then the Diamond is going to come down now, so let's pull the throttles all the way back. Gear down. And laps 35. And we'll hit approach mode. There we go, so we catch the glide slope. And we are slowing down to our final approach speed here. And oh no, what's happened? Okay, so it didn't catch the glide slope initially. Now it has. So what is it going to do? Why is it not descending us? Okay,
Autopilot.
I'm going to take manual control here.
Golf Bravo Yankee runway 27 cleared to land, surface wind 160 degrees, 13 knots.
Clear to land runway 27 Golf Bravo Yankee. Right, so we're clear to land. And we're going to have to descend very steeply here because it's kind of flowing over the glide slope.
Via 46 pattern centre altitude 3,000 feet. Cleared ILS approach runway 27.
I'm not sure why it's done that actually. That's very strange. I've never had it happen like that before. It's going to be a very steep descent. We might have to go missed, but
Flight 46 pattern
let's see how it goes.
No restrictions, flight 46 stop.
As you can see, we've dropped off the localizer here, so I'm correcting for that. Alright, so there we go, we recaptured the path. I'm just going to fly the rest of it manually because we're clear to land, and yeah, I don't trust that it's going to carry on the glide slope because you can see here what the flight directors are doing.
10 direct to element 27
right.
Alpha. We're just leaving Iverheath at this time, so I would like to route direct for Maidenhead.
Helimed 27 Alpha, roger, route on track, Maidenhead.
Leaving Ivor on track, Maidenhead, element 27 Alpha.
I'm not sure if the Pappies are configured to 5.5 degrees up here or not. I think they are. I mean, it says 2 whites at the moment, so it looks like they are, which is good. So I'm just going to look out the window here, keep my eye on the speeds, and just fly it in. Alright, so we're a bit low now. Let's make sure we are correcting. So there we go, 2 whites again. Minimums, continue. Get ourselves over to the right a little bit more. We've got a slight wind coming from the left here, so we can expect that to blow us a little bit, but not too much. It's mostly a headwind, so we're getting down quite well here. And more or less just looking at the touchdown zone now, bringing the throttles to idle. Flaring early because it's a steep descent profile. And we're down. Spoilers deployed. And manual braking. And we are down. Beautiful. A little bit off the centre line there, but not a big worry.
Again.
That flight 46 stop is fully established.
All right, let's get those flaps up,
Roger.
and the spoilers retracted.
Golf Bravo Yankee expedite.
What? Say again for Golf Bravo Yankee.
Golf Bravo Yankee expedite.
Wilco, Golf Bravo Yankee.
Golf Bravo Yankee, can taxi right, stand 15.
Taxi right to stand 15, Golf Bravo Yankee.
Flyer 46 Papa, runway 27 clear to land, surface wind.
A little bit heavy on the brakes there, but let's carry on. So we're going to the right. Stand 15 is right at the end here, so it's going down. Thank you very much, guys. Oh, we've got a little Embraer British Airways here, and there we go. Alright, let's get those taxi lights on, and everything else is pretty much good. Strobe lights can come off as well. I did actually forget to turn our landing lights on as we were coming down, but never mind. Thank you very much, guys. Enjoy your meeting, Alistair. Yeah, that was really good timing, wasn't it? Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate that. Alright, so here we are, stand 15. Now, he wants us to turn in right here, but I think in real life... Oh no, wait, never mind. I'm not sure where you should actually park. I don't think it actually matters too much where you park here, but I'm just going to follow the yellow line around this. I feel like you're not supposed to park on the right there, I don't know. Even though there's a stand actually indicated there because there's the ground services, but let's just swing it around here into this corner. Beautiful. Alright, there's a parking brake set. Let's turn our anti-ice off, taxi lights off. We'll turn our engines off as well. Let's see if we've got external power here. We should do at this airport. Oh, we don't know. Never mind. Alright, so engines powered down. Let's turn the... Oops. Climate control off as well. Clear off these warnings. And here we are. Welcome to London City Airport. This is a really nice little scenery, this one by Orbex. Absolutely love this one. Yeah, I'm a big fan. Loads of detail here, even all the detail of the building works. A few buses here. As you can see here, we're at the, this is basically the private jet terminal here. You can see London City Airport, private jet centre, arrivals, departures. Pretty good. Pretty good. Am I going to reverse back to the ground services? No, not quite. No, I'm just going to leave it here. I think here is probably better, to be honest, for an arrival, because you're close to the terminal anyway, so you don't have to cross the apron.
Fly 46 Papa, vacated runway 27.
But here we are. Welcome to London. Let's just do a bit of that, and let's have a quick look around. Like, I don't know if a lot of you guys might not have seen this airport before. We haven't landed here in quite some time, but the detail is just stunning here. So let's have a quick browse. As you can see, my frame rate is a little bit ropey here, just because it's in London. As you can see, there's all sorts going off in that direction. But yeah, so you've got this bridge going across the canal here, which is pretty cool.
You've got plenty of time to go by, man. No worries.
I'm going to disconnect from... In fact, no, we'll connect to... VATSIM, but I'll just put it on a frequency where there's going to be no one talking.
8 miles.
There we go. Alright, cool. So, yeah. You've got a bit of stuff going on here. You've got, like, this little... Not sure what this is. But you've got that. You've got the bridge over the canal here. You've got even this big stadium. I'm not sure what it actually is. And then, yeah, look at that. Exciting seeing the ILS flight director fail. The B-Fuzz was all over it. Yeah, I mean, it's the first time the ILS glide slope capture has not worked for me in the CJ4. It's a bit strange that, because as you probably saw, the oh look, there's the guy who was flying behind us on VATSIM, just arriving. But yeah, if you were, you probably noticed, like I say, on the Annunciators, the FMA, it did capture the glide slope, but for whatever reason it just didn't start descending, which is very strange. That's never happened to me before in the CJ4. So yeah, very, very strange. But yeah, we just kind of took manual control and descending ourselves. It wasn't actually too difficult, to be honest. It wasn't quite as big a descent rate as what I would have thought was required to catch that glide slope back up. So yeah, I think we managed that okay. Yeah, we've got a few static aircraft at this airport. Fire engines. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to flying in here with the CRJ 700 when that comes out. You've got the Tate and Lyle factory over there. Very cool. Yeah. So you got like the basically the pier that runs down here. And yeah, there's no interior, but you've got the pier that runs down, and then sort of the main terminal area here, which is all very nicely modelled. All the ground markings are very nicely done. And then yeah, that's it basically. You haven't got... Apparently there's a new taxiway here, so there's a new taxiway on this side here, on this right hand side, sort of running down this way, which looks like it's there on the satellite imagery. It's not actually in the airport file yet, if that makes sense. So hopefully that'll be added in the future. I think there's a new taxiway on this side as well by the looks of things. Essentially, this is a service road by the looks of things, but there's definitely a taxiway down this side. It's a mock-up aircraft they could train for simulated aircraft flight. Ah, got you. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that at quite a few airports, and I've always wondered that, so thank you very much. Alright, yeah, and then obviously London over this way, looking pretty good after the updates. Loads of buildings in there, loads of photogrammetry scenery. As you can see, it's all like pretty accurate looking. Pretty amazing, really. Some of it's a bit wonky looking, which is hallmark of photogrammetry. But what can you do? Well, you've even got this. I can't remember what it's called now, but you've got this kind of cable car that goes over the Thames. Well, it's disappeared now, but yeah, it's in there. Yeah, looking pretty cool is London. Let's get set up for the next flight, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Tate and Lyle factory here, really, really well modelled. Look at the detail, it's crazy. Alright, here we are. Boom. Okie dokie. Yeah. I'm still scratching my head as to why the glide slope didn't work there. But hey ho. Marino, good afternoon, mate. Welcome to the chat. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Yeah, going not too bad, thank you. Yeah, feeling a little bit better today. So yeah, man, doing well. Just had the glide slope capture fail on us in the CJ4, which has got to be a first. Thought this thing was bulletproof when it came to that stuff, but clearly not. All right, cool. And I'm pretty sure I know I didn't do anything wrong there. Make sure I got. Yeah, we had the correct ILS tuned. In fact, actually, look at this. So I've got 11115 tuned in, But look at the indication here. So the identifier of the ILS is ILST. Now, I'm not sure. That might have changed because we've already landed. So it might be picking up the opposite ILS, which is the same frequency. But the ILS identifier for the ILS that we flew was ILSR, Romeo. So, yeah. In fact, I'll tell you what we can do. So on YouTube, you can do the fancy. So it might be picking up the opposite. You might be able to do it now on. You might be able to do it now on Facebook. I think I enabled that over the weekend, but let's have a quick look here. So let's see what the ILS identifier was when we were on the descent. So it is ILSR on the descent. So it was the correct identifier on the descent, which is fine. But yeah, if we look at this again, back. So you can see I am on the localizer. Nav mode is on, which is fine. We're flying forwards. And flaps 35. Flaps 35. Approach mode. Approach mode was on. Glide slope. Approach localizer 1. Glide slope was armed for a second and then it disappeared. Oh no, what's happened? And then it goes back to old glide slope initially, which is basically flying at selected altitude, and then it goes back to glide slope. So it's on glide slope now, but as you can see, the flight directors aren't actually doing anything. I've got the throttle on completely idle, and I am actually bringing the throttles back up now so we don't stall. And it just doesn't start descending. And clear to land runway 27 Golf Bravo Yankee. And yeah, right, so we're clear to land. It doesn't want to descend, so I'm not sure about that one. That's a bit over the glide slope. Bit of a new one.
Cleared ILS approach runway 27.
I'm not sure why it's done that actually. That's very strange. I've never had it happen like that before. Yeah, I can't see anything that I've done wrong, so... A very steep descent. That is strange. Unless... We might have to go missed. I don't know. I mean, it is an add-on airport, and I know there have been issues in the past with glide slopes on add-on airports, but I've definitely flown this ILS with success before. So, anyway, let's get let's get configured for the next one. We've got a low voltage warning because the battery's running out on this aircraft, so let's get the engine started back up. Where is the Eye of London? It is somewhere to the west of where we are currently. I'm not sure exactly. But it's just right. It's right next to the Thames, sort of in central London. Yeah, seems to be all good after the update, Mariner. Yeah, not seeing any issues really so far, except for that one. But I don't know if that's actually an issue. Might just be a little quirk. Why am I starting the first engine? I don't want to start that one yet. Okay, so let's get set up for the next flight. Philip, good afternoon from is that Washington? Hope you're doing well. You're watching a stream as he's watching his stream while streaming. It's the start of the Matrix. It could be, mate. It could be, yeah. Yeah, I was just watching back a replay of our landing there, just to try and see if I did anything wrong. And it was a bit of funky behaviour going on there. I'm with Liverpool every time I spawn on runway 09. It puts me on 27. That is a strange one. Alright, so I'm going to make a new flight on SimBrief. We're going to do basically from London City. Oh, I've completely forgotten. EGLC, isn't it? There we go. And then we're going to go to Manchester Barton. Which is EGCB. We're going to use the not using the fly-by-wire. We're using the CJ4 with the registration Golf Bravo Oscar Bravo Yankee, and that is our routing. So we're going to leave via the Bravo Papa Kilo VOR, Brookmans Park VOR, and then end at Manchester VOR. So let's generate and get that filed. All right. Get some music back on as well. All right. Where are we off to now? Yeah, Manchester Barton is the next one. Manchester Barton is where the Northwest Air Ambulance is based. I did not know that. Good to know, man. That's really cool. Alright, file flight plan. Let's disconnect on vPilot real quick. Flight plan is filed. Let's reconnect. And just quickly get the charts loaded up as well. We still have a controller on at Manchester, Thames Approach, Thames Director even. Cool. Alright, so we're not going to set an approach for Manchester just yet. We can set that while we're in the air. Just make sure I've got all the correct charts. Okay, cool. So SimBrief has actually said he wants us to depart on runway 09. Now, if I remember correctly, the wind was sort of 200 degrees, so... Oh no, it said 27. I think I've just pulled up the wrong chart, haven't I? Oh no, I haven't. No, I'm just silly. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're taking off from runway 27, so it should be quite a cool departure flying over central London. Let's get things set up then. So we've got our position initialized already. In fact, is this something you need to do? EGHC. Set that. Okay, cool. And our flight plan is going to be pulled in from SimBrief. Rebecca, good afternoon from Montreal. Good to see you. Oh, you're Sophie Jackson's sister. Awesome, dude. Welcome to the stream. I was about to say we have another viewer from Montreal, but got a sister, so yeah, cool. Very cool. Welcome to the stream. Well, 2 of the Helimeds are based out there, and the other one is based in Blackpool. Cool. I did not know that. I have seen an air ambulance fly over quite near to my house, actually. I imagine it was probably one from there. Once lockdown ends, will you go and get some real flying experience at flight school? I'm sure you do very well. I don't know. It's very expensive, so I'm not sure. But I mean, it's on the cards. It's just, you know, it's just very expensive. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Alright, let me just clear out this waypoint. So Welling is November 2414 decimal 8, so that's that one. And loading. Manchester VOR is 113.55, so that is this top one here, so let's select that, and that should be the full route done. Okay, execute. Beautiful. Where are we going to today? We are going to, we're going from London City to Manchester Barton Airport. So from basically two little city airports. It'd be pretty cool. Manchester Barton was just recently added to the sim by Sobo, so it should be quite a nice, nice little airport. Check out. About 5,000 for a PPL. Yeah, I mean, PPL's not too bad, but I suppose it depends what you want to do, really. I mean, I can't really afford to buy a plane myself, let alone the cost for the license. So, I mean, I think if I was gonna do it, I'd be going for like, what is it, an ATPL? Obviously it's more expensive, but it will pay for itself eventually. Alright, let's get the climate control on now that we've got the engine started. Perfing it. Let's bring up the ATIS from the controller. So the ATIS is... runway in use is 27, surface wind is 260 at 13 knots. In fact, we need to make sure we've got our weights right first, don't we? Let's do that. So, payload is 540, which is the same as last time, I believe. So I don't think we should need to change that. 540, yeah, set. And then fuel, we need 972 kilos. There we go. Okay, beautiful. So let's just dive back in and set passengers is 7, that's correct. Cruising flight level 320 is correct. Zero fuel weight 5203, takeoff weight is 6195, so that is perfect. Takeoff wind is going to be 260 at, we'll just put in /13. Okay, that's not going to work. 260/13. Okay, there we go. Visibility 10k. A few clouds at 4,500. Temperature is 10 degrees. QNH is 1002. Next page. Anti-ice is going to be on as we're below 10 degrees as we set off. And flaps 15 is correct. Let's send that over to the PFD. Also, thank you very much for liking the stream as well, Rebecca. Much appreciated. And for the follow as well. Thank you very much. I hope you are well and having a fantastic week. 200,000 stars of each follow will get you there. Yeah, yeah, plenty of stars. I think we worked it out previously, didn't we? How much stars it would be for to do the course. Put our nav selection back to FMS. Oh, I did forget to turn the Ordamper off. That's my bad. Flight level change. So that's 240. And we'll also set nav, and I'm going to set VNAV because I assume our departure will have a lot of restrictions on it. Speaking of which, let's set that. So our departure is Bravo Papa Kilo 1 Alpha, Brookman's Park, runway 27, execute, and then we'll just check against the chart the restrictions. So I'm going to bring this up on screen as well so you guys can see it. So if we have a look, our first waypoint, Lima Charlie Whiskey, 01, and you need to be at 1,110 feet or below, above 1,110 or below 3,000. So I believe we set that in like so. Oops. 3000 below. Okay, so that's, yeah, we'll just set it in like that. That's fine. And then maximum 200 knots. So we'll actually set flight level change to 200 knots here. All right, and then we're going to be at level flight for a little bit. So Lima Charlie November 04, 3,000 feet, and then 05 at 3,000 feet as well. So that's these two. 3,000 feet is set. Bravo Papa Kilo at 3,000 as well. That's Brookman's Park VOR, max 200 knots still. And then we can accelerate, staying at 3,000 feet. And then all the way out to Compton at 3,000 feet. So that is, yeah. We don't need this second Bravo Papa Kilo, so let's delete that as well and execute. So we've got HEN and CPT. For some reason they're not in the plan, but let's see. Oh, this is a different departure route. See, CPT1 Alpha, and we're doing just Brookman's Park. So we'll just go up to here and then we'll go to our en route navigation from there. So that's great. That's all set. Beautiful. Okay, cool. So that's all done, and I think we are ready to get underway here. So let's get excuse me. Let's make sure the trims are set as well. Set that about halfway. And references, we'll come in here, and I'm just going to zero this out so that it's not showing on screen. There we go. Flight level change is set, LNAV is set, VNAV is set. We'll set our pre-selector to 3,000, that's the maximum cleared altitude for this departure. Weather, oh look at this, it's brightening up a bit. However, we will stick the weather radar on when we're ready. Okay, cool. So let's see if the controller's still on, and we shall ask him for clearance. Okay, he's not online anymore. Never mind. So I guess we'll just have to do our own departure. Let me just bring up the checklist real quick. Cool. Just for a private, you spent about 10k. Yeah. I mean, I suppose it varies on how much progress you make, doesn't it? But yeah, I mean, it's still a lot of money regardless. Just gonna quickly check this. There we go. Okay, that's perfect. Okay. Great stuff. So let me just run through this checklist real quick. So batteries are on, emergency lights are armed, standby flight display switch is on, avionics is on, parking brake is set, wheel chocks are removed, cabin door is closed, passenger briefing, we can do that now.
May I have your attention, please?
There we go.
Welcome aboard the Citation CJ4
Seatbelts are set, exterior lights are on as required, EICAS is checked, FMS is checked, climate control is actually on because we've already started the engines, engine starts, checklist is completed as well. Before taxi checklist, avionics are on, climate control is normal, passenger safety button is on. Trims are set, flight controls are free, speed brakes are checked, flaps are not set, so we'll set them to 15. Hydraulic pressure is checked, engine only anti-ice is also on. Takeoff data is set, avionics are set, autopilot is set, altimeter is 1002, so that is set. Pressurization is checked, ICAS is checked, divider doors are closed. Alright, cool, so let's taxi on out. It's a very short taxi, so I'm just going to skip the taxi checklist because all that stuff is kind of superfluous, really. Before takeoff checklist will do when we get to the runway. Alright, so taxi lights can come on. And in fact, we never started the left engine, did we? It'd probably be a good idea to start that one, wouldn't it? Let's turn the taxi lights off. Where did I get the charts from? I got the charts from, well then, the part of my Navigraph subscription. So, yeah, go to navigraph.com and check it out. It's a paid subscription, but it's a very good service, so depends what you want, really. And then the app that I was using it within, so this is Sim Toolkit. Navigraph just has a little built-in thing where you can check the charts here, and Sim Toolkit has many other options. Sound like I'm from Warrington. I'm not from Warrington, no. I'm from Leeds. Not too far away though, I guess. Phil, good afternoon. Hope you're doing well, brother. What do I think to the new clouds? I haven't really noticed just yet, Mariner, to be honest. I mean, they look good in my last flight. Any flight sim in Leeds, Navigraph? Yeah, Navigraph is so useful. It saves you a lot of time, let's say that. Before I had Navigraph, it took quite a while to find some of the charts. So, yeah. I would recommend it, but again, you can find the charts for free most of the time online as well, so it just depends. Alright, cool. So, we're good to go. Let's get on down. So, let's release that parking brake. See if I can remember the right keybind today. Yeah, got it. Beautiful.
Approach, Glastonbury Skyways 369.